What if I told you that there's a plant that can count? Really? Let's talk about it. You see, there has been some really cool research about this little plant, the Venus flytrap, which we all know as being a carnivorous plant that can feed on flies. It's pretty common knowledge that once a small insect goes inside of the trap of the Venus flytrap, it then triggers them to close shut, and then it will start the digestion process over the course of the next few days of whatever's trapped inside there. But how does this plant protect itself from false alarms, such as debris falling down and hitting those traps, triggering them to close, or rain hitting them, triggering them to close? Because each time that trap closes, it causes that plant to expend some energy, which it's trying to produce energy by photosynthesizing and eating little prey such as insects. So this plant actually has some really cool mechanisms that trigger it to close and stay closed only whenever there is a live insect that goes inside of it. Let's just take a closer look at how this actually works. I'm not sure if you're able to see this, but inside of these pads on the lobes, there are little hairs inside of there, and those are the actual triggers that will cause this plant to close up. Now, if you just trigger one of those hairs, it will not close up. But if you trigger 2 hairs within 20 seconds, it will then close. Now, obviously there is no insect inside of this trap at the moment. So because of that, it will then reopen itself throughout the day. In order to stay closed and actually seal itself up and start the process of digestion, that live insect has to continue to trigger those hairs at least 5 more times. So that way it knows it has made a successful capture. Now, this is really cool for a couple of reasons. One, because it shows that the plant can actually count at least to about 7, because it does 2 stimuli for closing the trap, and you need at least 5 in order to start the digestion process. The other thing that is super cool is that this proves that this plant has at least some form of short-term memory. So touching one hair will not cause it to trigger, but it remembers that one has already been touched. And then if a second one gets touched, then it will then close up. And so that memory resets after about 20 seconds. So this thing actually can remember for a short amount of time somehow. And that, to me, that's just fascinating.